4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Trojan Vision's The Week That Was, covering news and events for the week ending Friday, January 31st, 2020. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. The deadly coronavirus is raising concerns as it started to show up outside of China, where it originated. Those concerns have made their way to Pike County, although the virus has not. But Troy University has already put plans into motion to keep the campus safe. Brady Talbert gives us a look at what the Troy is doing and has already done.
The Chinese coronavirus is spreading. Just 9 days ago, we learned about the first case of the virus in the U.S., and today CBS News reports a sixth American has contracted the deadly disease in Illinois. Troy University now hosts a record number of Chinese international students. This fall, we reported that 166 students came to the university, which is why the school says it is taking precautions now.
Currently, we don't have a diagnosed case, on campus, nor is there a diagnosed case in Alabama. At this point in time, that's all we can do is to keep up with, the latest information that's coming out and to keep up, with the prevention tips that we're pushing along to students.
The virus originated in Wuhan, China, which is why the university has monitored students who traveled through that region.
We've had a number of students that did travel back home and then came back, but all of them have been back and are beyond the incubation period of 2 to 14 days for the virus and are not seeing any of the symptoms.
As of right now, Troy University's study abroad trips to China have been put on hold.
Right now, until there's some guidance or some direction that, that's good to travel back into that area, then there will be limitations on the travel, certainly into China and the Wuhan area.
Students are advised to wash their hands as it is also flu season and to visit the health center on the first floor of Hamill Hall if they notice any symptoms.
There are some changes taking place with Troy Student Government Association as the student body gave the thumbs up to pass some legislation surrounding the titles of their elected officials last week. In addition to that, there's some new rules involving Student Government Association elections on campus. Brady Talbert gives us a look.
Troy students voted in favor of changing the titles of 3 executive officers in the Student Government Association's election last week. Back in November, we reported that the SGA Senate approved of the change and was leaving it up to the student body to make the final call.
I think it really kind of clears up what each office does. With the other names, there was kind of some questions as to what duties are underneath that office, and then this name change kind of clears that up a little bit, so it's easier for the student bodies during executive elections, and if they have any questions, they know who to go to.
And speaking of executive elections, looking ahead this semester, a new Code of Laws amendment is altering the way candidates from here on out can campaign.
Instead of beginning campaigning at midnight, especially with executive elections, you can now start at 10 p.m. We also have a new rule that you can't place any campaign materials within 25 feet of the SGA and Student Involvement Office, and that just keeps us a neutral zone. That's what we want to be because we are the voice for the students, so we're going to try to keep this area neutral. We also used to require 2 senators to sit in the office. We only require 1 now to do ballots just in case the electronic ballot doesn't work.
In addition to those election changes, the SGA also raised the number of Supreme Court justices from 9 to 11.
And Troy University Student Government Association welcomed some new members Tuesday night as it also prepared for a fun night for some of Troy's newest students. Claudia Peppenhorst has the details.
This week's SGA meeting involved seeing some familiar faces as well as adding some new ones. The recent election for open Senate seats has come to a close, and the Student Government Association officially inaugurated the new senators.
Really excited to have our new senators in SGA officially now. They got sworn in tonight, and that was really excited for them because they officially are, inaugurated into their positions. So now they can be active and they can add ideas and contribute. And it's really exciting for us being on the executive side to see these new members of the Senate because we're nearly at a full Senate. So we love to see more students get involved and plugged in and be able to make a true difference on campus.
After being sworn in, the new senators on campus were excited to discuss their plans and goals for SGA while in their position.
My goals and aspirations are to improve Troy University for the better. I can't wait to work with my committee with student welfare and just really be active on campus.
To better the campus life around Troy and make life easier for the kids living in Newman.
Also being discussed at this week's SGA meeting is the Freshman Formal, held yearly by the campus organization Freshman Forum.
It's a formal specifically for all the freshmen on campus. It's open to anyone who is a freshman, Greek, non-Greek. All students are welcome. And then if you're an upperclassman but you have a freshman as a date, you're able to come as well.
Freshman Formal will give students the opportunity to relive their high school prom, all the while meeting some new people.
But it's going to be this year in the Stadium Towers on March 20th, so after spring break. But it's going to be a great way for freshmen to get to meet other freshmen and also to get to meet people around the university, to get dressed up and have a night of entertainment on campus.
You can buy tickets soon in the Trojan Center or from a Freshman Forum delegate. Claudia Peppenhorst, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll see how the Trojan women's basketball team turned into math teachers. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Troy University student athletes play their sports, but they're also in school to learn. But on occasion, those athletes can use their sport to help others learn lessons, like the Trojan women's basketball team did last Friday, teaching math through play on the hard court. Aaron Dixon has the story.
One day before their big matchup against fellow first-place team Texas Arlington, the women's basketball team teamed up with the math department to host the second annual event, Mathketball.
And it's a way to, what we do is we get 7th and 8th grade girls from the county that are on basketball teams, and we try to engage them in activities that will be relevant to what they're interested in.
The Troy women's basketball team and the math department gathered together for a two-day event, with the first day being today and then tomorrow up until the women's basketball team takes on Texas Arlington. And they looked at not just how to play the game on the court, but how to look at the stats and also look at what goes on before the game and then after the game.
And so the goal with that is to try to get them to persist in their study of mathematics further. And so this way we engage them in some mathematics, and we also have them do some statistics activities.
During one of the sessions, Dr. Robley gave the players a problem that took a look at scheduling and all that goes into making a team schedule.
It's a scheduling problem. It's a scheduling mock league. We had 4 teams, and we tried to create a weekly schedule of matchups. We had a 3-week schedule, and we had each team playing every other team. One game, each team played 1 game per week, and so they used a type of math called graph theory to solve that problem.
Pike Liberal Arts and Charles Henderson were the 2 schools in attendance, and the goal was to look at basketball as more than just who scores the most points.
Really a deeper understanding of basketball. We go over, all the time how to run a play, how to work on fundamentals with it, but these numbers are important. They show the hidden meaning in basketball and will reveal stuff sometimes that you didn't expect.
Many around the world were stunned when they first heard the news about the death of NBA superstar Kobe Bryant. The impact of Bryant's death is being felt by fans everywhere, including many here in Troy. Seth Carpenter hit the campus to get student reaction, including one basketball-playing Trojan.
With the recent tragic passing of Kobe Bryant, anyone from current NBA stars such as LeBron James to students here on campus are feeling the pain of the sudden loss.
I was sitting down in front of the TV with my homeboys, and I saw it on TMZ. I was like, dang, this can't be true. Maybe somebody hacked TMZ page, and ESPN started reporting on it, and it was just sad. I was overcoming emotions for real. Even though I didn't know him personally, he just had an impact on my life. It was really sad to see how he go like that.
Kobe also meant a lot to different people.
I don't want to say everything because obviously it didn't mean everything to me, but it meant a tremendous amount to me because one of my biggest passions in life is basketball. First time ever even seeing the sport, I seen him with the fro, with the 8 jersey. I was a little kid, begging my mom give me a jersey because I wanted to be just like him.
Kobe was a big brother to us, somebody we watched growing up, had so much impact on the game of basketball and in other people's lives as well, especially mine.
I mean, this unexpected loss really impacted the community, and to me, he meant a lot just really for the mentality. I really didn't follow him with sports too much, but the Mamba mentality really just impacted my life, showing that, when you give your all to something, that it can impact people and you can reach success through that.
Kobe did a lot for the NBA, but did a lot for the sport of women's basketball as well. Guard Kayla Robinson had this to say about Kobe's impact.
It means a lot because you don't really see a lot of men doing a lot of things for women's basketball. And for someone to be a legend, to come out and do a lot of great things for women's basketball is amazing.
Seth Carpenter, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The month of January is coming to an end, and Trojan Outreach is wrapping up a month-long initiative regarding body image. This week, they were seeking some input, inviting students to take a survey about body image issues. Aaron Dixon has more.
During the month of January, Trojan Outreach is focused on 2 key words to kick off their 2020 campaign, and those 2 words are body image. And on Wednesday, students had the ability to answer an online survey given by Trojan Outreach to get them to think about their body image.
Today we are having a pop-up event that includes a survey that students are taking, and it basically polls them on body image statistics. We're really interested in it as an organization to see what kind of things college students are facing in regards to body image.
All the students had to do was scan a QR code from their phone, and it took them straight to the anonymous survey. But if they took the survey, they also entered in for a chance to win some Troy gear.
So this survey is completely anonymous. We don't get to see it. The only reason we use your name in the survey is so we know who to contact to get you your prize. But other than that, it's just our coordinator who will look at it, and she's not going to tell anyone. It's completely anonymous besides that.
This survey will also help Trojan Outreach come up with specific facts and advice for Troy students based on the information given in the survey.
We're going to take the statistics that we're getting today from our different surveys and going to apply them in our social media. So we're hoping that we can take all these statistics and be posting stuff in regards to stuff that's specifically for Troy students, since we're getting a survey just from Troy students.
If you are interested in looking at those statistics and seeing some advice that Trojan Outreach has regarding body image, you can follow them on Instagram at Trojan_Outreach. Aaron Dixon, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, Troy University Chinese students celebrate one of their biggest holidays on campus. It's coming up right after this, so stay tuned.
At Troy University, we offer military students more than just flexibility and convenience. We offer top-ranked programs that are an investment in your future. And like the military, you'll be part of something. A powerful network of more than 158,000 alumni worldwide. And we will be with you all the way. Proudly serving our military since 1950. Trojan Warriors, one and all.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
For most of the world, New Year's celebrations take place on the first of the new year. However, that's not true for everyone. In China, the New Year is celebrated a little bit later and is considered one of the country's biggest holidays. And last Thursday, Troy's Chinese students shared their celebration with their Trojan classmates. Khaleesi Bai has the story.
Thursday night, Chinese Students and Scholars Association hosted a feast to celebrate the Chinese Lunar New Year. This Chinese New Year celebration was well received and achieved great success.
We prepared for the food, the room, the rehearsal, and the performance, a lot of things. Especially for the performance, we prepared it for a month ago, and every performer practiced very hard. So finally they can get this wonderful performance.
Chinese New Year is a Chinese festival that celebrates the beginning of a new year on the traditional Chinese calendar. The Chinese students prepared many interesting activities and an impressive performance for this event.
I think the girl who played the string instrument is really interesting to see.
I really loved all the dancing and like the singing and musical numbers. It was really cool because some of it I could relate to, and then others were things that I had never seen before. So it was a really cool experience.
As an international university, Troy University is highly inclusive of all kinds of cultures. The Chinese New Year celebration provides an opportunity to students to know more about Chinese culture.
I think it's a really cool opportunity because Troy talks so much about being an international university, and so being able to celebrate an event like tonight with all of those students from all different nations and countries, like it just really embodies like what Troy says we're all about, and it's allowed us to be able to come together and celebrate this.
Khaleesi by TrojanVision News.
The Trojan Center Theater was the place to hear some stories last weekend as it was host to the annual Pike Peddler Storytelling Festival. Daisy Lang gives us a look at some of the storytelling fun.
It's story time. The 2020 Pike Peddler Storytelling Festival traditionally takes place on Saturday in Trojan Center Theater. 4 of the top storytellers in the country came here, some with music.
I think by bringing life to these characters in my life who I met, it helps to tell the musical story.
Others with jokes that made the audience laugh.
This last one, I talked about how my grandfather convinced me and my buddy that we broke the ocean. We didn't know anything about the tides, and so he had us build a dam on a creek, and then he told us that because we built that dam, we stopped the water flowing into the ocean. And so then he tricked us into trying to fix the ocean, and it was just mayhem from there.
Why do people like to hear their stories? What makes them popular storytellers?
I was very lucky because the place where I grew up, people counted music and stories as a way of life. So you would go to someone's house and they would sit and tell stories all night long. There was no TV, and you would hear them tell family stories or folk tales, and then they might drag out a fiddle or banjo and play music. So it was a part of the everyday culture where I grew up.
I live in West Virginia, and we have a contest every year called the West Virginia Liars Contest, which is a tall tale telling contest, and I entered that, found out I was good at it, so I just looked for other ways to keep doing it.
We all grew up listening to stories, so take time out this Saturday to listen to someone else's stories, share their experience, and share their happiness.
I want people to realize that they have their own story because it's the one thing that we can keep passing down to our children and their children is our stories, and in that way, we never die.
It's annually the last weekend in January in Pike County. Keep this in mind if you're interested. Daisy Lung, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Trojan Center Food Court provides a wide variety of dining options for Troy students, whether they're looking for a meal or a quick snack. Beginning this semester, the court has a new option with a twist. Natalie Ledbetter gives us a look.
Coming back from Christmas break, students were surprised to find there was a new pretzel store open in the Trojan Center.
I didn't even know until my friend told me, because I guess it's over here in the corner, but I'm really excited about it. I think it's a good addition to what's in here.
The new pretzel store has brought a fresh twist to the Trojan dining experience this semester.
Well, with other pretzel places, they mainly focus on pretzels, but with the new Fresh Twist concept, and we're the first Fresh Twist ever here at Troy University, they're trying to market to colleges and airports, so they added more lunch options. So we have a flatbread pizza, we have pepperoni, cheese, veggie, and we also have breakfast options. We have breakfast sandwiches.
Since the opening of the store earlier this month, there has been obvious growth in business from the Troy students.
Fresh Twist has tripled the amount of money that we make in a day, so it's most definitely grown.
The Fresh Twist menu has a fairly wide variety of food options, but the customer favorite are the cinnamon bites.
I like these cinnamon bites. They're really good. It's like Cinnabon kind of, but it's pretzels. It's a good twist.
I feel like the customer favorite is the cinnamon bites as well, by far. If not the cinnamon bites, probably the pepperoni flatbreads.
Fresh Twist is located beside Marble Slab and Great American Cookie. They're open 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekdays and 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. on weekends. Natalie Ledbetter, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Skating is not an activity that Troy students can easily partake in due to the fact there isn't a rink in town. However, for one night, Troy students had the chance to strap on some skates and have a little fun on campus thanks to the University Activities Council. Jessica Phillips has the story.
Wednesday night, the University Activities Council rolled into a night of neon lights and a dance floor, but with a twist. You had to dance with roller skates.
Tonight we have neon roller skating. It's an event we try to do once a year, once a school year, where students can just come and have a safe environment to hang out and relax and take a break from school.
Because this is one of the bigger events that UAC does, the UAC made priority that every student got a chance to skate by allowing students to switch skates every 15 minutes.
This is definitely one of our bigger events, along with casino night, laser tag, and stuff like that. Usually our events in the Elm Street Gym are our biggest events.
A variety of different music was played, and while some mastered dancing while in skates, others fell straight to the floor. But all managed to have a good time while doing so.
My favorite part about tonight's event is basically like this UAC event being put together well, nice music, good skates, and I'm having a great time.
Jessica Phillips, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Time for our last break, and when we return, we'll get a preview of the Trojan softball season from head coach Beth Mullins. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
You might start on a Troy campus or at your kitchen table. Wherever you start, you'll be more than a student. You'll be part of the Troy family, armed with the education, values, and skills you need to succeed. Ready to lead today's global workforce. No challenge will feel impossible. No dream will be out of reach, because we will be with you all the way. Trojan Warriors, one and all.
The Trojan softball season kicks off next week. We'll learn more about the season from head coach Beth Mullins in this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. With me today is Beth Mullins, head coach of the Troy softball team. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
And Beth, you're here. That means that softball season is right around the corner. An opportunity to hit the field and see what the Trojans have to offer. Before we go into what this season is, let's take a look back at last season and kind of reflect, because had a pretty good outing for the Trojans last year. So.
Yeah, I mean, we had a, kind of built up, had a lot of experience last year, and really good pitching on the mound. And when you have good pitching, I think we kind of said it at the beginning of last year, when you have good pitching, you're going to feel good about your year. And we had great pitching. We had a really good freshman in Leanna Johnson come in from right down the road in Brantley, Alabama, and kind of put us on our back. And when you can have the freshman of the year on the mound, you're going to have a pretty good year. But yeah, I mean, it was a great year for this program. It was a great, finishing second in the league in this league is nothing to frown upon. So we were happy, but we're not satisfied. So
of course, you're never going to be satisfied until you get that big win. But once again, that's the steps, and you're still relatively new on campus, but building up that program and getting to a part where you do finish second in the conference, and behind a team that's pretty much always the top of the league. So obviously, you got to hang your hat on the fact that did pretty well in the conference play there. So
yeah, I'm not going to frown upon it at all. I mean, I was really proud of, this is Team 27, so Team 26 really, we talk about setting the standard. I mean, they raised the standard. Those seniors that graduated raised the standard for 4 years, and I think they became the standard. So Team 27's looking to raise the standard again, but I give Team 26 a lot of credit for setting that standard so high.
And then the transition lost a lot of seniors. You talk about those seniors there. You've got a relatively young team. You're pretty much most of the team, the play time, gone from last year. But and coaches, you always have to do that. But how do you cope? How do you make it work?
I mean, again, we've got a lot of solid. We're really solid on the mound. We've turned Leanna Johnson. Kinsley Blassingame has just grown tremendously. She's a junior. We don't have a senior on the pitching staff, so we have a lot of young experience, and we're really solid on there. I've got a great pitching coach in Holly Ward that came from Mississippi State. She's just really done a great job with them. So that's a solid part. When you're solid on the mound, you can fill in. But I'm excited about this year. Our youth, and we've got some transfers that have come in. We've got some freshmen, and they've jumped right in there. And our senior leadership, and Katie Webb and Logan Calhoun, and just our seniors in general have done a great job of bringing these kids up. And you wouldn't be able to point out a freshman right now if I told you to, except for the fact you just hadn't seen their faces before.
And you had a chance, obviously y'all play a fall schedule, so you have a chance to see the new players in the system and how they're interacting. So you've had a chance to see them in action. How's the team looking at this point? So
good. I mean, we played a good schedule. I mean, we've played, a national championship in Division II in West Florida this fall, and we played Ole Miss, who's in the SEC this fall, and they handled it really well. I mean, I think our coaching staff has done a good job of just preparing them, and confidence is coming from knowing you're prepared. And our job this next month is to put our team through as many situations as you can possibly be put through, so when February 7th does come, there's not going to be anything that we're not prepared for. So, I mean, I'm sure, like I said, anybody that's not experienced is going to have nerves, but and if you anticipate them, you can handle them a little better. And
I already know you probably have a good idea of what conference is going to look like. But let's talk about some of the non-conference competitions, because you got some pretty big names, including you got a Power 5 opponent coming here to Troy for a game here coming as well. So
yeah, I mean, our first 2 tournaments we host is actually really solid, and it's a bunch of mid-majors that we're going to host. So the first week is Lipscomb, Western Kentucky. Those are all top 45 teams that we're bringing in here. So even if they're not Power 5, we're going to bring in teams that are going to challenge us, which is what you need. But then, we bring Auburn in here. We're going to bring, the biggest thing is we've got ULL that's coming to us this year, which I think will be huge. Anytime you can get out of Lafayette and they have to come to Troy, I'm excited about that. But, we're going to play what we need to prepare us for our conference, which is, you've got to show up every game in this conference in softball.
And of course, that opportunity to start things off here at home. You always talk about the benefit of having the weather here in the South. You get to bring people here to play you, but that's obviously got to be a good way to start the season, and be at home and be on the home turf to start things off.
Yeah, I think one of my 6 years I've gone away the first weekend and didn't love it, and so I don't know why we don't just sit here at home. We've got a beautiful facility. We've got awesome fans. We've got great teams that love to come down here. We have multiple teams that have come multiple times, so my director of ops puts on a really good show for these teams, so it's going to be fun, and I think it's going to be an exciting team to watch. I think there'll be a lot of new faces, but very talented.
And once again, for the folks that want to check you out for the first time, when are they going to be able to see you in action the first time?
February 7th. Be at the field.
Be at the field. A weekend of fun at the Trojan softball field. Opportunity to see the softball team in action.
That's right.
Beth, thank you for joining me here, and good luck on the season.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's the week that was. To find out what's happening on a daily basis, you can tune into Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday, or follow us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, feel free to like our Troy TrojanVision News fan page on Facebook to see online content from Troy TrojanVision News. Until next time, have a good week.